King Charles is understood to have accepted an invitation to travel to Poland next month, where he will mark the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz along with survivors of the Holocaust. The king is set to make a poignant journey to Auschwitz to mark the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Nazi concentration camp. Charles, who has long held a personal connection with the Jewish community, is understood to have accepted an invitation to travel to Poland for the commemorations on January 27. Representatives from more than 20 countries will take part in the historic event, attended by survivors of the Holocaust, also known as the Shoah in Hebrew, that led to the death of 6 million Jews. The monarch, whose presence will be seen as a huge boost to organizers, has long been a vocal opponent of antisemitism. He continues to be involved in Holocaust education and commemoration through his patronage of several organizations, including World Jewish Relief and the Holocaust Memorial Day Trust. More than 1 million people were murdered by the Nazis in Auschwitz, mostly Jews, but also Poles, the Roma, Soviet prisoners of war and people of other nationalities. When soldiers of the 60th Army of the First Ukrainian Front opened the gates of Auschwitz-Birkenau, the largest Nazi concentration camp complex, just 7,000 prisoners remained. Holocaust Memorial Day, marked each year on January 27, has officially been a day of reflection, remembrance, and education since 2005. In 2025 it will also mark the 30th anniversary of the genocide in Bosnia. A source said, "The king's respect both for and from the Jewish community, as well as his work fostering community cohesion throughout his life, is well known and he will be welcomed to the commemorations." The king has worked for many years to promote tolerance and greater understanding between different faiths and communities, poignant subjects on such an anniversary. The king has been asked to lead a UK delegation by the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, which is working in conjunction with Buckingham Palace to facilitate the trip. Charles, 76, is still undergoing weekly treatment for cancer after being diagnosed with the disease in February. The planned visit will herald the start of a number of events, culminating in the 80th anniversary of V-Day on May 8, marking the day in 1945 when the Allies accepted Nazi Germany's surrender, ending years of bloody war in Europe. The king, supported by other senior royals including the Queen and Prince of Wales, will be at the forefront of the V-Day 80 commemorations. Palace aides are working through plans for the king to travel after the Christmas and New Year's break, where he will spend time with his extended family first at Sandringham in Norfolk before staying at Birkhall on the royals' Balmoral estate. The main commemoration will begin at 4 p.m. in a special tent that will be built over the gate to the former Auschwitz II-Birkenau camp. One of the symbols of the commemoration will be a freight car that will stand directly in front of the gate. In October, the government announced additional funding for the Holocaust Memorial Day Trust to mark the 80th anniversary. Communities and organizations from across the UK will take part in a special nationwide arts and education project 80 Candles for 80 Years. Peter Sawinski, the director of the Auschwitz Museum, said that some countries were planning to send top-level delegations to Poland for the anniversary. He promised, however, that the commemorative events would be divorced from politics. Senior Jewish leaders have praised the king in the past for always showing understanding and affection to the community. In 2022 as Prince of Wales, the monarch commissioned the exhibition of 7 survivors, titled 7 Portraits, Surviving the Holocaust, saying it would stand as a living memorial to the 6 million innocent men, women and children who lost their lives in the Holocaust and whose stories will never be told. His closeness with Lily Ebert, a survivor who found solace in Britain after the Nazi horrors, led the king to write the foreword in his memoir as well as leading tributes on her death in October of this year, aged 100. Charles said she became an integral part of the fabric of our nation and praised her extraordinary resilience and courage, an example to us all, which will never be forgotten. The king's personal family history with the Jewish community also runs deep. His grandmother, Prince Philip's mother, Princess Alice of Battenberg, was honored as a righteous Gentile for hiding a Jewish family in her home in Athens during the Nazi occupation. The king has visited Israel on several occasions, but officially for the first time in 2020. As Prince of Wales at an event in the country marking 75 years since the liberation of Auschwitz, he warned hatred and intolerance still lurk in the human heart. During his speech in Jerusalem, he said lessons of the Holocaust are still searingly relevant and called on world leaders to be fearless in confronting falsehoods and violence. The same year, Queen Camilla, when she was Duchess of Cornwall, visited Auschwitz to attend the 75th anniversary commemorations. Charles will become the first monarch to visit the Polish death camp, after the Prince and Princess of Wales made an emotional pilgrimage in 2017 to the Stutthof camp in northern Poland, where 65,000 people died during Germany's occupation. William and Kate described their experience as shattering and said the site is a terrible reminder of the cost of war. The late Queen Elizabeth II in 2005 made her last official foreign trip to Germany, where she also made her first ever visit to a concentration camp, stopping to lay a wreath at Bergen-Belsen and to meet with Holocaust survivors. She paused at a memorial for Anne Frank and her sister Margot, who was born in 1926, the same year as her. On the 60th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz in 2005, Queen Elizabeth hosted 300 Holocaust survivors in St. James Palace and stayed long after she was scheduled to leave, giving each individual survivor and story her undivided attention. Her Majesty also served as the patron of the UK Holocaust Memorial Day Trust from its establishment in 2005 until she passed it on to Prince Charles in 2015. Buckingham Palace did not comment.